guys, welcome back to my dirty desk. Let's continue on with some more Blu-rays. I went ahead and grabbed a few more this time. I grabbed a couple steelbooks, and it's mostly superhero movies this time, mainly the X-Men universe. So let's get into it. I'll talk a little bit about each film as I'm showing it off, but first, let's talk about this little trilogy by M. Night Shyamalan, and that is the Unbreakable trilogy. That contains Unbreakable, Glass, and Split. Sorry, I totally bumped the mic. Okay. So, this is your Unbreakable trilogy. Now, Unbreakable came out a while ago. I think it came out in the 90s, before Sixth Sense. And M. Night Shyamalan didn't get a chance to continue a story until years later. After he had a couple bombs, no studio wanted to touch him, so he had to bounce back with The Visit, which he made with his own money. And with the success of that, he was able to make Split, and then with the success of Split, he was able to make Glass. And with the success of Glass, he made Old, which a lot of people didn't like. I like Old. I don't see much wrong with that movie, but yeah, this is a great little trilogy. I highly recommend it. Bruce Willis is amazing in the first movie, in Unbreakable. James McAvoy, you'll see in some other movies I have here. He's brilliant in Split, absolutely brilliant. He plays, a person with multiple personality disorder, a split personality disorder, and he's very good at being many different characters at the same time. And then you have Glass, which is about Samuel L. Jackson's character from the first movie. He's like the villain that tries to pit these two against each other, and he thinks life is a comic book. He actually thinks the stories of comic books are like real, and he turns out to be right about that. But yeah, I don't know if I want to read the backs of all these again like I did last time. I don't know if that's what you guys want. I feel like we might go a little bit faster through this, but I don't know. So, there's your Unbreakable trilogy. Unbreakable, Glass, and Split. This is the order. Unbreakable, Split, Glass. I recommend them all. I recommend everybody watch these if you can. stuff, like cutting people apart and stuff like that. That's not why it's great. It's great because Hugh Jackman gives the best performance of Wolverine that he's given in any movie. The western feel of it is also fantastic. It reminds me of True Grit, only with superheroes. And it's fantastic. Logan, I would be shocked if you haven't seen this movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's one of my faves. Very sad movie too. I remember crying at the end when he dies. Spoiler alerts. But Wolverine, this is his send-off. This is like the end of his story. And that is something you don't really get with superhero movies. If ever. It's something else to actually see a story end. We're so used to stories starting, origin films. And we always see the stories during like their prime, their glory years. But we rarely see the end of a story. And it is a love letter to Western films like that. Once Upon a Time in the West and True Grit and stuff like that. The final ride into the sunset. And as you see, there's a sun setting behind him. I think it's a pretty good cover too. But yeah, that's Logan. Next one is the Wolverine. This one takes place in Japan, and it's a pretty cool black case this came in. And as you see, it comes with the Wolverine Blu-ray, extended cut Blu-ray, and the DVD. Now the extended cut adds I think probably 10 minutes to the movie. But you get to see this costume at the end, which was pretty cool. I forget if that was in the theatrical cut, where you actually get to see Wolverine get the costume, his comics costume. Oh, that was loud. But yeah, I thought the movie was okay. I always, if I'm marathoning the X-Men movies, I always watch Wolverine. I mean, it's not a bad film by any means. I like the setting. It's fun to go to a different location with Wolverine. And lots of cool stuff. There's also a bullet train in this movie. So if you've seen the new Bullet Train movie, here's another movie with a bullet train in it, But good little Wolverine story. He's like losing his powers as the movie is progressing, He's getting weaker and weaker. And it's funny that both these movies were directed by James Mangold, and they both have a similar premise, and that is like Logan, Wolverine, he's not in his prime anymore, and he's losing his powers. I think, it's not a coincidence that those same ideas are happening in these movies when you have the same director behind it. But James Mangold, he proved himself that he could make a good movie with the Wolverine, and then they let him make Logan, which was phenomenal. And I think he's making the new Indiana Jones, so that's pretty exciting. Excited to see how that turns out. Alright, the next X-Men movie that we have here, and I guess we're going backwards in order, but X-Men Apocalypse comes in a gray case, silver case, I should. Movie gets a lot of trash, it gets a lot of hate. I don't get it. I feel like it's fine. The good action set pieces, the mansion scene where Quicksilver's saving everybody in the mansion, that's a good part. The villain's alright, Oscar Isaac does fine. I think people were just expecting way more out of this movie, and I don't in check, you know. This is just a fine X-Men story, you know. It's not as, you know, important as some other X-Men movies that we're going to talk about, but if you just want an X-Men adventure like you would see in the cartoons, I feel like this is trying to hit on that, you know. It's just another adventure with the X-Men, and people take it a little bit too seriously, and this actually leads into Dark Phoenix, which is the one X-Men movie I don't have because I really didn't like Dark Phoenix when I saw it. I saw it in theaters and I was floored by how bad Dark Phoenix was. X-Men Apocalypse is way better than Dark Phoenix, like it's not even close. But anyway, moving on. And the next X-Men movie is X-Men Days of Future Past. This is the Rogue Cut. The Rogue Cut. The Rogue Cut. This Rogue Cut adds Rogue to it. There's like 2 or 3 deleted scenes that they add back into the movie, and honestly, I like it a lot. It ties into the original X-Men trilogy a lot better, and I'm surprised they didn't just go with that. Maybe they were trying to, present a movie to the audience that didn't remind them of the X-Men trilogy, but I don't get that because the whole point of this movie is that it's taking the old X-Men and, you know, the new version of the X-Men, and you get to see them both on screen at the same time, right? So that was the whole selling point of the movie. So why not have a storyline that ties in to the original trilogy? But you know, all that being said, I definitely prefer the Rogue Cut, just because you can see Rogue, and it just ties everything together nicely. And I feel like it makes for a better movie, a better viewing experience after you've seen every X-Men movie, and then you watch Days of Future Past, the Rogue Cut. Just an excellent, excellent movie. And I believe Bryan Singer directed it, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can find out the back here somewhere. Yep, Bryan Singer. Yes. Did he direct it or did he produce it? Yep, directed by Bryan Singer. Interesting. So, you know, he came back to direct that. And the movie was a big hit when it came out. Everybody loved it when it came out. And now people do this revisionist history where, you know, there's people like, oh, it wasn't that good. But, like, come on, everybody was hyped over the moon when this movie came out. And people loved it. Another movie people loved when it first came out, X-Men First Class. Kind of went under the radar when it first came out, but, you know, as the years go by, more and more people discover how awesome this movie is. The perfect reboot, I would say. You know, the X-Men franchise was pretty much dead after Last Stand, and they went ahead and they made a reboot and recast everybody, and it worked. It worked brilliantly. Magneto is more fleshed out in this movie than he ever was. That being said, he was, you know, a good character in the original trilogy, but this movie is essentially his origin story and Professor Xavier's origin story in the same movie. Originally, this was just going to be a Magneto movie. That's why there's so much focus on him in the, you know, the ads and the cover. There's him on the cover. You know, it was originally going to be called X-Men Origins Magneto. That was going to be the original name. So you know, thank God they didn't go with that. I like better that you get to see how the X-Men first formed, and you get to see how the friendship between Magneto and Professor Xavier started, and how they went their separate ways. It makes for a great movie, and you didn't need like 5 movies to explain it. just needed one movie to establish their friendship and have them go their separate ways. I like that a lot. Yeah, X-Men First Class. Now, I want to say the one X-Men movie I don't have other than Dark Phoenix is Origins Wolverine. Actually, I might have Origins Wolverine somewhere, but it's just not here. But next is the X-Men 3-film collection: X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men United, and X-Men The Last Stand. Honestly, all things considered, I think it's a pretty damn good trilogy. A lot of people shit on the third movie, X-Men Last Stand, and all things considered, it fits pretty well with the rest of the trilogy, and it makes sense. It's not like, it's so egregious that it does anything like super different. Like it's almost the same style of film as the other two films. And I think some of the bigger moments happen in X-Men 3. But still, X-Men 2, a lot of people say is king. And I gotta agree with that. I mean, it's one of the greatest, it's one of the greatest superhero films ever. I just wanted to make some sounds there. Yeah. X-Men 1 started it all. And by today's standards, the first X-Men film is quite boring, and the CG doesn't really hold up. It's quite dated. X-Men 2 is a little better. The CG is a little better in that one too, and the storyline's very good in X-Men 2. I like it a lot. I especially like the mansion scene where the government breaks into the mansion scene and starts taking the children. And, that's fair. Stryker is the villain. And just what a genius, move to making a movie. Like, real stakes, really bad stuff happening, like children being kidnapped, like, and experimented on. Like, that's pretty heavy theme to put in a superhero movie, But yeah, I think it's a great trilogy. I always watch them all. If I'm gonna watch the X-Men trilogy, I watch all of them, even Last Stand. But yeah, so there you go. There's the X-Men films. A couple more superhero films here. We got The Punisher, the Thomas Jane Punisher, set in Tampa, Florida. I love this movie. I think this is like the best Punisher movie. There's two other Punisher movies that are not that good. That Was My Dog, if you heard him. Yes, I feel like Thomas Jane is the best Punisher. They had this little short film they put on YouTube called Dirty Laundry, and it's like, a little sequel to this movie, and I wish they would have made that film. I wish they would have made like Dirty Laundry into a film. I think that would have been awesome. And yeah, Punisher, pretty awesome. If you haven't seen this one, it's great. And it is a little nostalgic for me because it is set in Tampa, and I remember when they were making this film. I was little, but like all the press around the city was like, they're making Punisher, and they had to shut down streets in downtown and stuff like that. And it was awesome. It was a big event for the Tampa Bay area. It's a shame it didn't take off. I thought, all things considered, once again, like, you couldn't do much better than this, especially at the time. It was strange how people really didn't like it for whatever reason. Mainly because it wasn't in New York City. I think that was probably the big reason. his whole origin. You see his wife and kids die, and you see him become the Punisher, and he's badass in the movie, so what more can you really ask for? Anyway, here is the Blade trilogy. Now, unlike the X-Men trilogy, where I will watch all of them, even X-Men 3, which a lot of people don't like at all, this one I only watch Blade 1 and 2. I will never watch Blade 3 again. That movie's just so rough. And even Ryan Reynolds can't save Blade 3. Ryan Reynolds cannot save Blade 3. I feel like Blade 1 and Blade 2 still hold up too. Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill. It's a great line. It's a legendary line. It's from the first movie too. And they're making a new Blade, a new actor and everything. And I hope Wesley Snipes makes a cameo at some point. I think that'd be really cool. In the new Blade movies coming out, and these were rated R. There was tons of blood, like scenes where there's like raining blood and stuff like that. It's exactly what Blade should have been. And, if it wasn't for like comic book movies like this, you probably wouldn't get any like comic book movies today. Something had to start the trend, and it was X-Men. It was Blade. It was these movies back then. Like if you were a comic fan back then, you were always starved for any comic book movies to come out. Like nowadays, you're oversaturated, but back then, you were starved, man. Like all you had was like the Joel Schumacher Batman films, and then you got Blade. Like this, there was nothing really to hold you over, right? So, Blade. Couple Marvel films before MCU became popular, right? In fact, all those X-Men films are also Marvel films. They were just distributed by Fox, and Fox owns the licensing for X-Men. And I believe Fox was bought by Disney, right? So like that. Here's some more Fox properties, and that's Alien. This is the first steelbook that I'm going to show you, and it's Ridley Scott's Alien Covenant. The last Alien film that was released, I think it was this one, and it's a sequel to Prometheus, and I feel bad for Ridley Scott because he made Prometheus, which, hold on, is right here. Got Prometheus right here. And it's clear he was trying to tell a story that was a little bit more grand than just aliens, There's a lot going on in this movie, Prometheus, and I just don't think people appreciated it at the time, Looking back on it, there might be things you can cut out, to make it, to speed it up the pace a little bit, maybe. I've seen some deleted scenes, and I kind of wish they added some deleted scenes back in. There's a great deleted scene with the two scientist dudes that get trapped in the temple area, and later in the movie he starts poking at this snake thing that breaks his arm and gets in his suit, and everybody watching the movie is like, why would you even go near that thing? Well, there's a deleted scene earlier where it shows them already playing with these little worms that are in the ground. So he's just thinking it's a bigger version of that. He's not thinking it's strong enough to break his arm or anything. So it goes a little ways to explain some certain things. Anyway, deleted scenes aside, I think it's a fine movie, and I think it led perfectly to a sequel. But since so many people didn't like Prometheus, Ridley Scott felt the need to just go straight to Alien and ditch most the robot's name, right? But this is an awesome looking steelbook, by the way. It's a nice matte finish. Got Alien on the back. And people complained that Prometheus didn't have any aliens in it, really. And so Ridley Scott fixed that and gave you a shit ton of aliens in Covenant. And I liked it a lot. I thought it kicks off the bang, and that first scene where her husband is caught on fire in one of the chambers, the sleeping chambers they're in. That was actually James Franco in that scene. So it's amazing. He's in the movie for like 2 seconds and he's on fire. Oh, we can open this. You could try a digital code. You might get something. I don't know. Wait, yeah. I don't know. Boom. But yeah, I don't know if you can see the back. It's too much glare. But yeah, we got aliens in the back. Aliens are nice, aren't they? And this is an ultra. We got an ultra HD and regular Blu-ray. That didn't feel like it clicked very good. Anyway, yeah, there's Alien Covenant. I like this movie a lot. I think the horror, in the movie is great. I don't like it as like a sequel to Prometheus, but I mean, I think it's fine. If you just watch it on its own, you really don't need to know anything that happened in Prometheus. It's almost like Prometheus is a prologue to Covenant, right? If you're reading a book and you got to the foreword, like that's what Prometheus is. It's the foreword for Alien Covenant. But yeah, I love the Alien franchise. I have all the Alien movies in a box set somewhere. I'll show that in some other video, but yeah, Alien Covenant, I think it's really good. I like the horror. I like the body horror, and some genuine scares in this movie. I think Ridley Scott still is a great director. He has a great eye. He just needs better writers around him that are gonna not be yes men, and he's gonna make another great film eventually. He's gonna bounce back and make something great before he retires, probably. But yeah, there's Alien and Prometheus. We got more right here. Alright, now we're getting into some Quentin Tarantino films. I have most of his films. I think I might be missing one, but I'm pretty sure I have almost all of them. So let's talk about each one. Oh, I hate that. I hate how, I just see this little gash right there. I hate that. I hate that gash. But yeah, there's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Great movie. It's a long movie. It's a slow burn. But I love it. I love the alternate history route where, Brad Pitt saves, what's her name? Is it Margot Kidder? From the Charles Manson family, because in real life, the actress got murdered by the Manson family, and in this movie, we go alternate history, and Brad Pitt's character kills the Manson family. I like it. I like when Quentin Tarantino does that. It's like he's setting, he's like he's doing right by the real life people. It's like, who wants to see the Manson family succeed? Let's actually smash their heads in. Like, I like that idea. But yeah, this is a great movie, and I just love the world Tarantino, creates. And, he has an obsession with feet, which is kind of weird. You'll notice in this movie a lot of feet, like, right in front of the camera. It's kind of weird. I think he might be commenting on fetishes in Hollywood with that, too. Like, there's a lot of it's one of his most successful, like, box office wise. So a lot of people did see it, but I think people were kind of lukewarm on this film, just because there wasn't like tons and tons of action till like the very end. And it's a long movie, and maybe it needed a better edit. Maybe you need to get like 20 minutes cut out of it or whatever. But I like the length it's at. I like existing in the world with the characters for as long as possible, especially if it's as fleshed out as these characters are. Leonardo DiCaprio kills it. He's so funny, so good. Brad Pitt's so good. Margot Robbie's there. I wouldn't say like her performance is amazing. I mean, she's there. I actually think she's a very overrated actress. But we'll see. The Barbie movie's coming out soon. That should be interesting to see. But yeah, there's Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Great movie. Highly recommend. And here's one of his earliest films, Pulp Fiction. 7 Academy Award nominations. Winner of Best Writing. And this is a great movie. Great movie. You're going to be very confused watching it for the first time because it's shot out of sequence. It's the ending scenes of the movie are the first scenes they show, and it just goes backwards from there to the beginning of the film. Kind of like Memento. I think that's where Nolan got the idea to do Memento, was Pulp Fiction, but I can't remember which film came out first. Great movie. Uma Thurman, so hot in this movie. Oh my god, so good. Anyway, Reservoir Dogs. This might be one of my favorite Tarantino films. It's tough to say. I really love every Tarantino film, but Reservoir Dogs has a special place in my heart because that was one of the first ones I saw. I saw Reservoir Dogs before Pulp Fiction, and I didn't even know who Tarantino was. I didn't know what he looked like, and he plays one of the characters in this movie. And going back and watching it, it's so interesting to see Tarantino act in his own films, and then you see him in Pulp Fiction, and it's and he has a cameo in Django Unchained and stuff, and I just love seeing him pop up. Yeah, he's so cool. Reservoir Dogs, if you haven't seen it, it's these criminal dudes, and they do a heist, and it goes bad, and they get trapped in this garage area, and people are dying, they're bleeding out, they're turning on each other. It's just a great film. So people get their ears cut off. Fantastic. Highly recommend. Next one is Inglourious Bastards. These are all my Quentin Tarantino films right now. Brad Pitt steals the show. He's one of the best parts of the movie. And another alternate history thing where we kill Hitler at the end of the film, because why not? That's what I love about Tarantino, man. He just does what he wants. He does what should have happened in real life, and that is murder the fuck out of Hitler. Love it. How can you not like a movie where we're killing Nazis? It's a little cliche. It's a little pandering almost. Tarantino, you can't go wrong here. People are gonna like this. We're killing Nazis, alright? And it's, the sense of humor in this film is fantastic. That one scene with the bear Jew, and he bashes the dude's head in with a baseball bat, and he just keeps going on and on. He's oh, dog dude, oh, the bullock. He just keeps, doing these little sayings and stuff. And he's super hyped. I thought, that's one of the funniest scenes in the movie to me. But yeah, violent film, but I think it's worth it. It's worth Jane for Netflix or something like that. Or is it HBO? I forget. But yeah, the extended cut is so long they had to break it up into like 4 parts. I don't think it needed an extended cut. Like, I watched all 4 of those parts, and I'm glad they cut out certain stuff. I actually like the theatrical cut of this movie more. It's a tighter experience, and I mean, we're still talking about an almost 3-hour film. But still. In fact, let's see, how many minutes is this film? It should say somewhere on here, if we can find where it says the approximate runtime. Runtime is 168 minutes, so that's 2 hours and 48 minutes. That's almost a 3-hour film. And the extended edition, I think, is over 3 hours. So, I love this film. Much like Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs, this film takes place entirely in one setting, in a cabin during a snowstorm. And it's fantastic. I feel like Quentin Tarantino is at his best when the settings are limited, budgets are limited. He has to do the best he can with, what he has. I think he works best like that. And Hateful Eight is just a fantastic watch. Kurt Russell's amazing. What a bounce back for Kurt Russell, yeah. Another Western from Quentin Tarantino, and this is my other steelbook here. We got the rest are steelbooks of this left here, so let's see. Pretty cool. I really like the steelbook. Pretty cool. And you can't really see the background. It's just black. Okay. I was thinking of like changing up. I was thinking of changing up the inside because you could take off this plastic bit, this plastic stuff. You could take it off, and you could put like a picture there. I've done that with a few Blu-rays, but yeah. Anyway, Django Unchained by Quentin Tarantino. Great movie. Another alternate history type thing. The slave becomes the hero, kills the slave master. Another great twist on history from Quentin Tarantino. Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like he steals the show again. The one scene where he smashes the glass and it cuts his hand. They kept filming like he really cut his hand, and he was so in the zone in character. He just kept going, and they kept filming it. That's the kind of films I like. That's the kind of performances I want to see. Right? That does it for me. Love Django Unchained. Fun watch. Very fun movie. And the next two we got here is legendary ones, and that is Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. You could say this is what really solidified Quentin Tarantino. Like, he already came out with Pulp Fiction, right? And Reservoir Dogs, so people knew he had a lot of talent. But it was his ability to make this movie with a studio that made him a staple in Hollywood for years and years to come, right? Let's do one at a time here. So we got Kill Bill Volume 1. Uma Thurman, who was in Pulp Fiction, stars in this movie. trying to kill, killing all the people that were involved in her, taking her, husband, child, and life and stuff like that. Classic movie, very samurai, like Seven Samurai type thing. And a fun fact about Kill Bill is that it was originally supposed to be one movie. It was going to be like one 3-hour movie, and the studio told Quentin Tarantino to split up into 2 parts, and he tried to fight them on that, and he eventually caved in and agreed to it because he found a place that they could split it up in the middle of the movie. So he compromised and worked with the studio when he needed to. And it turned out great because Kill Bill Volume 2 is excellent as well. So good. Love the climactic end to this movie. I can never watch Kill Bill 1 without watching Kill Bill Volume 2. It's like the second Kill Bill 1 ends, I just put the second part right in because it's meant to be like one giant movie anyway. And I feel like they should just come out with that's my doggy. I feel like they should just come out with a unified edition that just puts both parts together. I feel like that's gonna happen one day if it hasn't already. But yeah. And here's another Quentin Tarantino one. It's called Grindhouse. Not a lot of people know about Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof, and Robert Rodriguez Planet Terror. But Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, they're like best friends. They all came up at the same time making films, and this is a Grindhouse collection. And Death Proof has Kurt Russell in it, I think. A lot of people don't know about that movie by Quentin Tarantino. It was like one of his earlier films. And I think the only Quentin Tarantino movie I don't have is Dusk Till Dawn with George Clooney. That was another one of Tarantino's first films. So, they are very much Grindhouse films. I recommend both films. Both films are fantastic. They definitely belong together in this box set for sure. 100%. I like the background art in this. It's like old school Grindhouse, like movie posters and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty cool. I highly recommend checking this out. If you can find this 2-disc collection, or you can find Death Proof, watch Death Proof, It's definitely not Tarantino's best, but, with Grindhouse films, it's not exactly high cinema. They're meant to be these, action films with a lot of blood that's like poorly shot. That's like the idea. It's like the cameras aren't good, It's like someone showing it to you from their basement, like somebody set up a projector, in somebody's basement. They're showing you these films that are not meant for theaters, like that's the kind of genre it is, and they nail that. Alright, so last movie I have here is Baby Driver. That's another steelbook. As you see, I'm showing off some steelbooks, I know. I still got more steelbooks up there. But yeah, all you need is one killer track. This movie really turned me on to this actor. He was also in the new West Side Story. He's a fantastic actor. I hope he gets to be in more films. I would love if he was like a superhero or a supervillain in some film. This film has Kevin Spacey in it as well, and it's about a getaway driver. And it's kind of like a classic story like that, you know. But this film was directed by Edgar Wright, who directed Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and World's End, the Cornetto trilogy. He's a great director. I think he proved it with Baby Driver again, as if he already didn't prove it with Shaun of the Dead. Like, fantastic movie. He actually left Ant-Man to go make this film. And I think it was a good decision. Love the film. So, watch Baby Driver if you haven't. It's a great film. That's gonna do it for now. Yeah, that was we went through a lot more Blu-rays in this one for sure. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We still got more to do, lots and lots more to do. You know, pace ourselves. I know Christmas is coming up, so you know, I'm probably gonna, you know, take a little break around Christmas time, but I'll get more videos up before New Year.